Okay, let's talk about understanding stress accent in the Cebuano language. So, I've made a video of this before. I guess this is just a little review for those of you who have difficulty with stress accent. And this is something that you need to learn by heart because Cebuano will exhibit these things just as English does as well. If you speak English or any other language that does exhibit stress accents. In Cebuano, we have two types of accents, right? We have the stress itself, right? Wherever the stress of the syllable goes, or the pronounced stress of the syllable. And we have the glottal stop, wherever the glottal stop will lie. In English, we have stress accents as well, and it changes the meaning of the word most of the times. Well, all the times, I guess. So here's just 3 examples for you English speakers just to give you a heads up and just a feel of things, right? The first word we have is record, right? Record. But this word can also be written as record, 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 okay? Record, record, record. So you're recording something and you can also play a record. So that's just one way, I guess one example of how stress accent can change the meaning of the written word, right? Another one is minute, right? Minute, minute. And then the next one we have here, which is written the same, is minute, right? Minute. Every minute counts, but the minute details don't. So do you see what I mean? Every minute counts, but the minute details don't. So those are just ways that you can see the changes of the stress accent. And finally, we have read and read, right? Read the book, she read the book. Okay, read the book, she read the book. Now in Cebuano, there are plenty examples in Cebuano. I just wrote down two two examples that I could think of at this time. The first word we have is suka, right? Suka, 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 suka. Hapon, 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 hapon. So there are just ways that the stress accent changes depending on which syllable the stress accent goes. As you can see here on this last word here for suka, right? Suka. That glottal stop accent is on the last vowel, so that vowel is going to get a glottal stop. Suka. You're going to cut off your breath there. It's a glottal stop, right? But for hapon and hapon, there aren't any glottal stops except in the beginning. That's just something different though. And with these stress accents here though, in Cebuano, stress accents are not written. These stress accents in written Cebuano, they're not written because people understand through context what the meanings of the words are going to be. But for those of you who are learning Cebuano, it's imperative that you kind of mark down where your stress accents will lie in the words that you will write. Okay? Sometimes people use it for training purposes. Sometimes people use it to help in reading purposes, or to mark where the pronunciation will lie. But in general Cebuano orthography, these do not get written. Okay? And that's going to be the challenge, is that you will need to know by heart which words and which syllables in the words take the stress or not. Now, there are also some words that don't have any stress. Okay? There are some words that don't have any stress. But for the words that do have stresses, for the words that do have glottal stops, stuff like that, you need to be responsible for those. And that's just something done by heart. You have to memorize that by heart. Some things that can affect the placements of the stress accents would be these things, right? And these are things that happen in Cebuano. So the first one we can talk about is conjugation. Now, conjugation or affixation of a word changes. It can move the accent, or not accent, but the stress or the accent mark, I guess. Yeah. So it can move the stress around. It can move the stress accent from one syllable to maybe another syllable, right? Once a word gets affixated. Another way it can get changed is dialects. Now, maybe one group of people who speak a specific dialect of Cebuano says one word one way, whereas another group of people says that same word in another way. Or they pronounce that word in another way because they put the stress accent in a different syllable, right? So even though the word is still the same, but the accent or the stress accent is different, that can change the effect of the stress accent, okay? Um, Another thing is tone or the feelings of the speaker. Maybe the speaker was angry or sad or happy. That can affect the stress accent as well. All right.